Good morning, children. I hope you are fine at your home by the grace of the God. Today, we are going to start with lesson number 3 of Social and Political Science, the Parliamentary Government, Why and How. Let us take lesson number 3, the Parliamentary Government, Why and How. It is on page number 10. Open your textbook and look in your textbook. Introduction. The Assembly of elected representative which legislates and exercises political authority on behalf of the people is called the Parliament. On behalf of the people, these people, they political authority, they are elected representative and they are called as Parliament. The Parliament enables citizens of India to participate in decision making and control the government. Thus, Parliament is the most important symbol of Indian democracy and a key feature of the constitution. So you have to remember that this parliamentary government they have the key feature of the constitution, Indian democracy. And the Parliament of India is in, where is it? You take your pencil, underline, it is in New Delhi, and it is also called Sansad. Many times we have seen Sansad, Parliament, government in the TVs, and you know that in Hindi it is called as Sansad. Now content. Why parliamentary form was chosen in India? India is a democratic country and we use parliamentary. Parliamentary system is both responsible and responsive. Means it is taking the responsibility and at the same time they are very responsive. Government is accountable to its people and there are fewer chances of the government becoming arbitrary. So that is few chances there that the people is accountable. Government's accountable to its people. They keep the account of everything. Then there is harmonious cooperation between the legislator which frames law and the executive which executes this law in the parliamentary form of the government. So we have what? One who frames the law, who make the law, and the second is who implement, who what? Executes. Third point, coming to the third point, in the parliamentary form of government, the executive is also a part of legislature. So there are less chances of conflicts. There are no fighting in the parliamentary form of government. In the picture you can see the parliament. This form of government is flexible and can easily adapt to changing situation. Any change happens means this government is flexible. Means it can change. This form of government, what? It is flexible. In the word of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the main strength of a parliament government lies in the ability to satisfy the essential test of democracy, a combination of stability and responsibility. In parliamentary government, we see that stability is also there, responsibility. Now, composite of parliament. This parliament may be understood as a law-making body in the system of parliamentary democracy. The parliament is divided into two houses. First is the Lok Sabha, that is the house. In Hindi, Log means people, that is a house of people, and the Rajya Sabha, that is a council of state. Coming to the next page, page number 11, we can see that although the president is not the member of any house, president of the country is not the member of the Lok Sabha, not the Rajya Sabha, he is considered as a part of the legislature because no bill passed by the parliament can become a law without his or her assent. So even though president is not the part of it, but we cannot pass any law without his permission. Now look there, they have given here the chart of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Composition means people under it. How many people are there in the Lok Sabha? How many people are there in the Rajya Sabha? The Lok Sabha, also known as the House of the People, is the lower house of the Parliament, that is the lower house. It cannot have more than 550 elected members. Out of these, 530 members are elected from different states and the remaining 20 from the union territories. Then Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha or the Council of State is the upper house of the parliament. It cannot have more than 250 members. There it is 550, here it is 250. Out of them 238 are representative of states and union territories, that is elected by the elected members of representative state assembly. The remaining 12 members are nominated by the President. President nominate there in the Rajya Sabha 12 members. Now see in the Lok Sabha, elected member of the Lok Sabha is 552. From different state is 530. From the Union Territory, 20 plus 20 Anglo-Indians appointed by President. And in Rajya Sabha, total members are 250. From that, 238 representative of the state union territory elected by the elected members of the representative and state assembly. And plus they are nominated by the president 12. Next is eligibility of member. First, very important, eligibility means what is the criteria for them to be the member of the parliament. He should be citizen of India, he should be 25 years old, he should not be a proclaimed offender, he should not commit any any crime, proclaimed offender. He must not hold any office of profit under government. Then he should not, that means he should not be office government person. He should have the name in the electoral rolls in any part of the country. Next, other side, he should be the citizen of India in Rajya Sabha. He should be less than 30 years of old. He should not have any criminal records. He should not hold any office of profit under the government. And he should be the voter from the state where he is contesting the election.